All right, I have 6 o'clock, so I'll call to order the Bucksport Town Council special meeting. Roll call, Sue?
Jim Morrison. Mark Eastman.
Here.
Ed Rankin.
Here.
Kathy Downs.
Here.
Paul Bissonnette.
Here.
Dan Ormsby.
Here.
Okay, there you are. And Peter Stewart.
Here. Before we get started on item 3 discussion items, I will ask if folks have a comment. I know we've got a bunch of emails. They can email it. I believe the address is up on the screen. And also the phone number is 469-7368. They can call in. And I believe those are all up on the screen also. So the only item we have on the agenda tonight is discussion items. American Cruise Line request to dock in Bucksport during the 2020 season. So I believe Rich and Sean are here also, and they were at a meeting with American Cruise Line.
Rich, our Economic Development Director, Public Safety Director, our Infectious Control person, Captain Pam Payson from the Fire Department, and Pam's on this call, as well as Deputy Chief Winchester. All but Deputy Chief Winchester were on that call on Monday with American Cruise Lines. And American Cruise Lines representatives are on this call as well. Their medical person as well as Eric, who I believe is their president. I distributed to all of you the, the notes that Public Safety Director Gagan took from that call, and they were connected to different pieces of the 26-page plan, and that was presented. Eric from American Cruise Lines is prepared to do a little overview for the council of what it is that they want to do, a brief overview, and then we could open it up for questions and discussion from counselors and with input from our staff members that we have here as well, and our harbor master and marina manager Mike Ormsby is also on the call.
Sorry. Counselors, everybody okay with that? All right, why don't we go ahead, Sue, with the gentleman that wanted to do the presentation.
Eric, are you on with us?
This is Paul Takelet with American Cruise
okay.
Line. I'll be speaking this evening. So thank you, Sue. Hello, my name is Paul Takelet. I'm with the Vice President of American Cruise Lines. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you today. We know this is a challenging time for all of us, especially for the state of Maine and for the cruise industries and for the citizens throughout the country. As we considered returning to service and bringing cruises back to Maine, we felt it very important to partner with the communities that we visit. And we only want to do so when it's safe. A significant change that we made a decision on today is that we're pausing our return to service or our request to return to service to Maine until September. So we're not planning on operating any cruises in August, which allows us more time to discuss our possibility of returning to service, for you to field any questions from your community members, and also make the right decision on whether your community feels comfortable with American Cruise Line's plan to return to service. With our pause and our return to service plans, that means we would have 3 visits to Bucksport in the month of September. As part of that plan, we still feel it's important from now until then for you to be comfortable with the plan that we shared with you. We're certainly interested in the feedback that we received from our meeting the other day, and any feedback as a result of this meeting, and we certainly will consider that as we work through our plan. It's very important for us to make sure that you are comfortable with what we're doing. I believe everyone has had a chance to review our plan. I'd be pleased to answer any questions that you may have this evening. What I'd like to do is work through those questions, and knowing that we have some more time for you to make your decision, we can work together and hopefully find a way for us to visit this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilors, I'd ask just to raise your hands so I can see everybody on the screen. So if you do have any questions, just Paul?
I'll ask, I guess, what may be an obvious question. A week ago, American Cruise Lines was planning on starting cruises as soon as the end of the month, and now we're pausing until September. Are you free to talk about why there's been the change?
Yes, as the number of cases have increased throughout the country, in some of the hot spots in the United States or some of the areas where our passengers will travel from. So as we monitored the situation, processed the data, spoke with our guests, and met with the communities in Maine, we felt it was the best decision to allow some more time before we consider operating the show.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Well, I for one want to applaud your frankness with us, and to me that shows the level of safety and concern that you have and how you want to operate. Because it certainly would have been fairly easy just to keep trying to trudge forward and not pay attention to the data that's coming in front of you. And for that I do applaud you for paying attention to that and working through that and understanding that. It was going to be a tough decision, I think, for anybody to make. I think with this extra added 6 weeks and more data and information that we can gather and have a chance to talk to the community a little bit more, I think it's going to give us a better, well-informed decision, and hopefully we'll allow your decision to be an easier one to make one way or the other. So,
Mayor Stewart, this
So,
is Susan. Yes.
Yep.
I sent out some additional information today. I did manage to hear back from the CDC, and they indicated that they would be doing an assessment or completing their assessment of the plan, because part of the concern was that the CDC hadn't weighed in on whether it was positive or negative. And in reviewing what they said, the reason that they were waiting for letters of recommendation, which are just acknowledgments from local public safety personnel and medical facilities that they had been informed that American Cruise Line may operate this year, and that if that occurred, that these entities would be prepared to respond if they were in the community. Which, as I said in an email to you, felt a little backwards to me. Of course we respond. We don't look at license plates when we respond to vehicle accidents or Hannaford or any of the above. If it's in our community, public safety has to respond, and we have to make sure that if we're adding a risk to the community, that it's as low a risk as possible, and it's all things concerned. So what I would hope occurs with this extension is that the CDC weighs in, because I think that the CDC giving this plan a clean bill of health, so to speak, in terms of providing safety to this community would be a great step in its favor if the council were to consider.
sure.
I mean, but at the end of the day, if the CDC doesn't prove this, they can't operate anyway. So I know that they're waiting for their assessment. And when I spoke with them this morning, they indicated that, and that the CDC's response to me was, we're just waiting for these letters of recommendation before we complete that assessment for them. So this extra time will allow that to occur.
Okay, Jimmy, do you have a question?
Yes. Are you pursuing any other towns locally or around us anywhere in regard to this? And are your passengers going to be shore leave here in Bucksport, or are you going to be transporting them to another location, or have you gotten that far in your plan?
American Cruise Lines is working with communities throughout Maine on our return to service plan. We are working with Portland. We've had meetings with Rockland. We've had a meeting with Bath, Maine, as well as we have discussions with Booth Bay Harbor. We have met previously with Bar Harbor, and they made the decision that they decided to at their town council meeting. And so yes, we are continuing to work with all the communities that we partner with throughout the state. And as far as Bucksport goes, with the shore excursion activities, we are going to allow our guests to go ashore. As part of our return to service plan, the ship is going to operate with approximately 50 to 60 passengers on board. For the shore excursions, the groups going on shore will be approximately 25 people. So if we have a 50-passenger motor coach, it will be half full. Then the shore excursion activities will include remaining in Bucksport. It'll be visiting Fort Knox, and it would also be an option for a motor coach excursion to the park.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Anybody else have any questions? Mark?
Yes. Have any of the other communities given an up or down vote, Paul, except Bar Harbor? Knowing Bar Harbor's vote?
No, we're still working with the communities. Bar Harbor is the only community that has brought it to a council vote. And now that we have some additional time, we look forward to working closely with the communities to hopefully get them comfortable with what we're proposing to do.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Chief, you have any thoughts for real quick, or we can wait until we get closer to the time, and I'm sure you guys will meet again, but do you have any thoughts?
Not at this time. I did speak with Rockland and Bath this week because I know both of the chiefs very well. And I think they were just in the beginning stages of this. As Eric just said, that they were just beginning to look at it, so I don't know which way that they're going with it. The only thing I will say is that we did review the plan at this building. I had 4 pages of questions. I think that American Cruise Lines answered those questions very well. The town manager provided that document with the questions asked and the answers to that. And I think the plan, for what a plan is worth, was put together very well.
Great, thanks. Anybody have anything else? I will finish with, on Saturday, I took a ride through town. As you're aware, I live out on 46. So I went by Crosby's. I saw 3 out-of-state cars. At Carriers, I saw 4 out-of-state cars. At Hannaford, I saw 9 out-of-state cars. And on Main Street down to the mill, I saw 6 out-of-state cars for, I think that was 25 cars. And I was thinking that if they each have 2 passengers, there's 50 folks that we don't know if they've been tested. We don't know if they've followed any of the guidelines. And when you see a plan come forward from a group that is looking to, again, hopefully do some good things and contribute to the town, where we haven't known what's going to happen, those things sort of matter to me. Where, we get people that are concerned about folks coming from out of state, but in a 20-minute snapshot, it was pretty easy to probably count 50 to 60 folks that we have no idea if they followed any rules. And in a group like this, I think there's some rules in place that, and with another 6 weeks, we could have a good chance for them to fine tune those. So I look forward to some more discussion, and hopefully we get another chance to look at this. So,
From my perspective, just for a minute, given the plan that's in place and the fact that shore excursions generally take people out of the community, or the majority of them, even in non-COVID times. Many people left, and there was, 10 or 20 that wandered the walk and Main Street and those kind of things, and that never overwhelmed the community, but that level of additional people that had already been tested and temped and all that kind of stuff in the middle of things in assessing risk is lower. And my concern in talking about this initially was the biggest risk factor for anyone coming into the community from somewhere else is actually to our public safety people. It's to our responders. And so from my point of view, making sure that their plan is, because that's the people who have the highest potential to contact somebody in a less than ideal situation. So from my perspective, making sure that not only is the community low risk, but the plan sets it up so that our public safety people also are as low risk as possible in dealing with this. And I think that American Cruise Lines has done a good job of trying to have some medical personnel of their own on the ship to sort of preempt some things that could happen.
Sure. Dan, do you have a question? Yep.
No, I just want to say I read the plan several times, and I thought that American Cruise Lines was extremely thorough with the pieces going through. Also, I would encourage the public to, it's on our website, right, Sue?
Yes.
To go in, and if they have concerns, look at the safety plan that they put together. You really looked at a lot of different aspects, and I thought you did a great job with that.
So is your September, what would be the first initially? Is it September? I don't have the calendar in front of me. September 1st, or what are we looking at?
It would be into the second week of September for the first departure. So we're still working through that part of the plan since we just made this decision today. But I would expect our first visit to Bucksport would be around September 11th or 12th.
All right. So I would suggest, Sue, that maybe we put this on our last meeting in August again.
Well, if they're going to sail September 15th and involve us, they probably would need to know, or September, they would probably, could we put it on we've got a council meeting next week, which we could skip, but if we considered it maybe for the first meeting in August, which is the second week of August.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Because that way, if they're scheduling, I would think they would need to know more than a week ahead of time where they were going,
Sure.
where they were going,
Yeah.
or that kind of thing. So if we did it the second week of August, they'd have a full month of that knowledge, one way or another. And by that time, we'll have more information, hopefully from the CDC, as they've weighed in on this plan.
Fair enough. Anybody else have anything? Jim?
It would seem to me that these people that are coming ashore, or any people that are going to be leaving the boat for any reason at all, would probably, in the best interest of the people of the community, want to protect themselves and protect the community that they're coming into. I almost think that with the regulations that they have in place, it's inevitable that they're going to be observing very closely the regulations that we have, and have been put down by the CDC. So I'm looking at it as, not really a risk situation.
I did want to mention that one thing I learned in the meeting Monday was that the average age of passengers on these ships is 73 years old. So these are people that are in a risk category already. So they're not wild and crazy 25-year-olds. They're people who would be likely to be observing the face covering regulations and those kind of things for everybody's protection, based on the fact that they're in a high risk category for this virus anyway. So that, as I said, that one didn't occur to me until that meeting when representatives from the cruise line said that the average age of the cruise ship passengers was 73.
Thanks. Ed, do you have something?
Yeah, just one quick thing. Just to reinforce what you said as well, Peter. There's a lot of people on any given time in this town from out of state that we have no control. We have no idea what they're doing. At least in this case, there is a plan. And we also need to keep in mind, whichever way we go, the fuel vessels that come to our dock. I mean, they have crew that are from all over the world. I know they're tested when they come back on the vessel, when they originally come back on the vessel, but we still have them in the community too, and they're from all over the world. So
I thought the crew was from other ships that are here. You mean? Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
the fuel vessels at the dock.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's something we got to consider. I think there's a lot more that we aren't controlling and can't control right now already happening than this is a very thorough plan that I think we'll just see what happens, see what people think. But I thought it was very thorough and they kind of covered every area. That was it. Thank you.
Yep. So I think we've got some good information, and I think Danny's point to folks that are watching or can take a chance to look at the plan. We'll have a couple meetings that obviously during discussion times, if folks want to bring things up between now and the time we really have to make a decision, that they can bring those comments to us, and we can look at that. But we can plan on hopefully having a discussion and decision on that first meeting in August. Anything else from anybody? Chief, you guys all set in there?
We are all set, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Anything, Sue, from the public out there?
No, I've had no emails and the phone's not rung.
Okay.
You have everything I've received. Everything. Sure. I think some had already been sent to you, but it's also posted for the public as well. So.
And we'll continue doing that when they come in. You'll continue giving that to us, so that'll be great. Before we adjourn, next week, Thursday, are we planning on live at the middle school, or?
That's not set in stone yet. Jim Morrill is doing tonight's meeting. This is his first week back. I'm not sure that that's going to be ready for prime time by then, because it's not currently set up to allow for live broadcasts from that facility. So
okay.
I will find out over the next couple of days and well before the meeting where we're going to end up.
Okay. If it is at the Performing Arts Center, I think everybody's okay. That was a decision we made the last time, and there is a committee meeting at 6 that is scheduled regardless. So
that will occur one way or the other. Yes.
Sure. Yep. All right. Last chance. Anything else? I want to thank the folks from American Cruise Lines, one for a thorough plan, but also for being here and answering our questions. And hopefully we can continue the conversation. So item 4 is adjournment. I'll take a motion in a second.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Raise your hand if everybody's in favor. Seeing no, anybody opposed to that? Again, thanks everybody. We are adjourned. Have a great night.
Have a good night, all.
Thanks, you also.
See you later.
Bye.